G'day, it's your old mate DJ Payne here from Rise and Shine at Vision, and I've been asked to read you day 3 of our 25 days till Christmas. This is called the Masterpiece. Matthew 1 to 17 and Luke 3, 23 to 38. When reading the book of Matthew or Luke, it's tempting to skip over the long lists of names found in the early chapters. After reading 3 or 4 names into one of these lists, you may feel your eyes start to glaze over and you just start thinking, get to the good part. These long family trees may not seem as interesting as the familiar stories about the shepherds and the wise men, but every word of the Bible is from God. So if he thought it was important for us to know who is in Jesus' family tree, we need to pay attention. To understand why the genealogies listed in Matthew and Luke are important, think of the story of Jesus as you would a huge painting or mosaic, a masterpiece by a master artist, like the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in Vatican City. Michelangelo took 4 years to complete that huge work, and then only when it's viewed from down on the bottom floor can the whole thing be taken into scale. In the same way, when we look at the big picture of Christmas, we can appreciate the thousands of years and millions of tiny brushstrokes God used to complete the masterpiece of the birth of Christ. Matthew presents Jesus as the Messiah, a figure the Jews had been told would be king. Unlike a president, a king does not come to rule by ballot, but by birth. A king has to prove his right to the throne by proving he is descended from the royal family. God had revealed that the Messiah's right to rule would be proven by 3 things. He would come from the family of Abraham. That's promised in Genesis 22:18. Second, he would come from the tribe of Judah. That's in Genesis 49:10. And he would come from the house of David, 2 Samuel 7, 12 and 13. Now you begin to see why God thought it was important for us to see these names in Jesus' family tree. They demonstrate his legal right to the throne. But the genealogies reveal even more than that. Jesus' legal right to rule came through Joseph. But the Bible makes it clear that the Messiah would be a descendant of David. As Joseph's adopted son, Jesus was a legal descendant, but not a descendant of David by birth. Just so there would be no doubt at all about Jesus' claim to the throne, God told Luke to include the other side of the genealogy, his mother's side, which can also be traced back to David through one of his other sons. Jesus was physically born of Mary, so her genealogy shows us that he was a literal descendant of David, as well as a legal descendant. God didn't leave 1 square inch of his canvas unfinished. He didn't use 1 brushstroke too many or too few, but just the right strokes at just the right time and just the right colours to create a masterpiece that is the birth of Christ.